What is up, folks? Ncaa31 here, and this is game number 4 of year 1 of NCAA 14 UConn Dynasty. Last we left the UConn Huskies, they were coming off of a last-minute upset win over Michigan. We come in at 3-0, and this is our first road game of the season before we have a bye week, and then we hit into the American Athletic Conference schedule. We are taking on the UB Bulls, and as we know, no one circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bulls. Will we be able to take care of business, or will we be caught looking ahead after our big W from last week? UB is another one of these spread no-huddle teams. Their starting quarterback is out. They'll be led by a backup, Joe Licata, who's a dual-threat kind of guy. They have impact players at the tight end and running back position, and of course on defense, they're led by Khalil Mack. A 4-0 start would be a great springboard into conference play and also for recruiting in our bye week. Let's go.
It's the second largest city in the state of New York, Buffalo, along the shores of Lake Erie, the site of today's game. It's time for the coin toss now, presented by Coke Zero. Real Coke taste, 0 calories. Enjoy everything.
All right, UConn will kick off and put their much maligned D on the field first. The Huskies were able to last week take advantage of some injuries to the offensive line of the Michigan Wolverines, so we should match up pretty well against UB, but right away, Licata springs a 20-yard option run keep. We've had a lot of trouble with these dual-threat quarterbacks, and we've had a lot of trouble getting teams off the field on third down as Brandon Oliver rumbles. So UB is off to a great start already. It's UConn a little bit flat. And here comes the tempo. UB trying to catch UConn early. Trying to bring some heat early as far as the UConn defense goes. Trying to get a little bit more aggressive and try to dictate more to the offense. Man zero blitz on 3rd and 10. And once again, we break. 3rd and long has been the trouble down all season. We've been able to survive so far and get bailed out by our offense, but once again, we're down in a 7-0 hole. Blitz gets picked up. Taylor Mack gets beat, our best cover man, and Buffalo is on the board 7-0. Elsewhere, Johnny Manziel hurt, and Arkansas takes down Texas A&M. You'll see how long Johnny Manziel's out for and how that will shake up the Heisman race and as well as the polls.
The Razorbacks take it by 3. Meanwhile, the Volunteers were ranked 24th. Now the loss is likely to knock them out of the polls. An old coach once said, if you don't think every game's important, just try losing one. Apparently this team believed it. They tried and they lost. A major upset is now in the books. South Alabama gets the win, 24-20.
You can feel the shockwaves.
All right, a couple of upsets already. Down 7-0 already. Chandler Whitmer, Lyle McCombs leading the way, and the game plan is to stay the hell away from Khalil Mack. The little big man begins with a nice little 3-yard gain. McCombs on the dive. So far, so good. So also looking to mix in Max DiLorenzo, our power back, in the game a bit more, as well as find a way to play our backup, Scott McCummings, who's more of a runner, but Chandler Whitmer has been so good throwing the ball that there really hasn't been much need to change the offense up at all. That should have been an INT. It's first of the year, but we got lucky. We thankfully avoid the turnover. UConn has to punt the ball and put the D right back on the field, and Graham Stewart again on first down comes in with the blitz.
It's just a relentless pass rush that results in a sack. That's what happened there.
Aggressive slanting by the front 3 creates a 2-on-1 for the right tackle, and Graham Stewart comes in untouched. Big play. Graham Stewart's probably our most athletic linebacker as far as being a pass rusher. Next play, B.J. McBride does a terrible job holding the edge, and Brandon Oliver is able to rumble and get it all back and then some. And they're right back into UConn territory, and right back in range to get some points. All the time in the world, coverage is holding, and we're able to get a bat down. Tyree Clark steps up and makes the play. Again, third down. Cover one. Picked up. And again, we get beat. How in the world are we going to be able to get through this season with third down defense like this? Again, Buffalo pushes the pace on first down. Forced to defend the red zone yet again. You may notice I don't mention my single high safety very much. Kinda hard to play 3-3-5 stack or 4-2-5 with a bad single high safety. There, Jefferson Ishiru chases down Licata from the backside. Well done. I don't exactly have Earl Thomas back there. Again, third and long. McBride comes through.
Nice job of picking up the mic.
But too late.
Take it inside of the
Jefferson Ishiru stuffs the run along with Yawan Smallwood. Same song, different verse. We read the screen. Licata is slow to recognize, and we get a sack. Jesse Joseph, right place, right time. That's how you take advantage of a backup quarterback's lack of game awareness. So we're able to hold them to a field goal attempt.
Time for an update from the studio. Reese, what have you got?
Notre Dame keeps on rolling along. I promise I am not doctoring their games.
Like a stone. And for Notre Dame, their hot streak continues. Reese is the dude who can spin the magic bean. He tossed 3 touchdown passes in this one. In another game, the Tigers came into the day ranked 12th. All those who said they weren't that good now have plenty of ammunition. And for Wake Forest, they continue their winning ways. The Demon Deacons take it by 4.
A lot of upsets this week. A lot of injuries to quarterbacks taking a toll. Taj Boyd out for the Clemson Tigers. Johnny Manziel out for the Aggies. Chandler Whitmer sacked, bringing up third down. Just an unaccounted for, unanticipated blitz there, and the protection just caves in. Third down. Shaquem Phillips, catch and run. He needs to step up. Jeremy Davis has been great. The freshman slots have been great. As we dial up another play-action pass, and freshman Demir Bradley steps up and makes the catch over the middle. He even dusted off Sean McQuillan, our tight end, a little bit more, as our right tackle just gets whipped. I think that was just a base rush. Just a 4-man rush, and they just beat us up front. Just a one-on-one matchup that we lost. We've been good in long yardage passing situations all season so far, but we get a drop and we're forced to settle for a field goal attempt. Would not have been enough for a first down anyway. We get on the board. Early signs, this looks like one of those sleepwalk games you see in college football, where one team comes in feeling good about themselves with a big win, may not be quite as focused the week afterwards. You're playing in a half-empty stadium against an opponent you think you can beat, and before you know it, you're going through the motions, and it's a close game. UB, again establishing the tempo. Again with the read option, we do not hold the edge. We do a terrible job catching him in the backfield, and Licata is off to the races. Really bad option defense. And they're going to come right back at us and hit us again. So just like that, we are down 17-3. It's looking rough. It's looking rough with the 3-3-5 stack. We don't quite have all the pieces you need to make the engine go, but we should be able to do better than this. Sloppy technique, bad play recognition leads to big plays. We got to answer. Got to get some points before the half. Chandler Whitmer keeping it on the zone read. Get some yards before sliding to the ground. Whitmer again. Shaquem Phillips. Demir Bradley on the shallow cross. Chandler Whitmer's been in a great rhythm from day one. He's really taken to the offense very nicely. Again on the zone read, keep. Get some nice blocking. And then the UB defense brings him back to reality. Taylor Martinez, you are not. Good option defense by the Bulls. Third and long. Got to get the ball downfield.
He rifles it.
And Chandler Whitmer finds Jeremy Davis. A perfect pass. Touchdown. Offensive line held up nicely there. Allowed that deep flood concept to develop. And Jeremy Davis was able to get behind the defense. Big play. Now we got to keep him off the board going into the half. Caught in the safety committing to the deep breaking out. Jeremy Davis runs right behind him. All right, got to keep him off the board before the half. Jimmy Gorton gets free over the middle. Defense has to tighten up. Ncaa gets flushed and he steps right into big Shamar Stephen.
A relentless pass rush that results in a sack. That's what happened there.
You're going to see Graham Stewart and Jefferson Ishiru come crashing in. They do a nice job of collapsing the pocket. They don't give him anywhere to go, and the big fellas are able to mop up. Here they are. Quarterback gets flushed, and the big fella's right there to greet him. All right, long yardage again. We can get him into long yardage. We just can't get him off the field. So second and long. What happens? We give up a completion and some yak. Third and manageable. And our coverage breaks down. Now remember how I said we do not have a playmaking single high free safety? Right on cue. He does bad single high deep safety things. Giving up a touchdown here would be a disaster. Do not want to go down 24-10 going into the half. Haven't been able to zone them, so we'll try to man them. McBride's a good push, but the coverage is not able to hold. And there it is. Now we're down 24-10.
After one thing, winning the game is what's more important.
Can we vulture some points here in the last few seconds of this half? Not a bad start. We have a good kicker, just got to get him into range.
And he's tackled around the 30.
And Brian Lamel having a big first half.
Pulls it in, first down.
And just like that, we are into field goal range. And this will be a chip shot for Mr. Wagner.
It has the distance.
It will be down 24-13 going into the half.
Half of football. The Bulls lead 24-13.
Glad to have you with us in the studio for the EA Sports NCAA Football 14 halftime show presented by Nissan. Innovation that excites. Reese Davis and David Pollack here, completely locked in on that first half. It's all about perspective. Everybody who loves offense loved that first half. Lots of big plays, explosive plays. Offenses really got into the rhythm. But then there's the responsible opposing view, finding all the things that went wrong on the defensive side.
Yeah, it's twofold. You know, there's an offense and there's a defense, and at some point,
I'm glad you've noticed that.
Yeah, well, I didn't notice it in the first half, but I wanted
one side in the first half.
I'd like to notice more of it in the second half, and it's as simple. When a wide receiver catches a slant at 7 yards and takes it 70, there's a problem. Somebody needs to hit the guy. Somebody needs to be a little bit physical. Somebody needs to be willing to tackle the guy and bring him to the ground. Too many missed tackles, too many explosive plays, and if you play defense like that, you should probably look in behind you and say, I think I'm going to get the other guy in because he's got to be better than this guy to start.
David and I will be keeping an eye on your game and everything else going on in the country here in our palatial and comfortable surroundings in the studio. The best seat in the house belongs to Brad Nessler in Kirkherb Street.
All right, at the half, got to score. Has a good start, dusting off Sean McQuillan, and we have a tendency to forget about him. He's a very good receiving tight end. And we're having a very tough time running the ball. You saw the halftime stats. Some of it's based off of the score, some of it is based off of just getting whipped up front like right there. So long yardage. Second and long, we come right back to Lyle McCombs, and that's probably one of the best runs he's had all day. Not one of Chandler Whitmer's more accurate passes. 4th and 1. An indictment of our defense here. We go to Max DiLorenzo and he plows ahead for 7 yards. Play action pass. We get sacked. That's either the 3rd or 4th time that Chandler Whitmer has gone down. Not the offensive line's best day, but Chandler Whitmer, like a boss, comes right on back. Hits Jeremy Davis over the middle. Trying to run the ball again. Zone read. Good blocking up front. We got a convoy. We don't have any speed. Good blocking. It's as good as he can do. It's the Chandler Whitmer drive. Looking for the end zone, and we hit the post. Shaquem Phillips. Big time drive. Now the defense has to clutch up. We're on pace to give up 500 yards of total offense. And we have yet another ranked team having trouble this week. We've seen a couple of upsets already, and TCU is having some trouble with the run-and-shoot SMU Mustangs, as Garrett Gilbert has the Stangs up on the board.
A determined runner and one that makes the most of every opportunity. He takes this opportunity to get it into the end zone. TCU has the edge, 13-7, early in the second quarter.
All right, defense has to find the answer and find it in a hurry. UB picking up right where they left off. Someone has to man up, and Byron Jones does just that. He's been quiet today.
It's got to be frustrating for this offense to go back.
Byron Jones fills the hole on the safety blitz and brings some bodies with him. Third down. Conversion. Surprise, surprise. Buffalo going no huddle. UConn were scrambling to put something together, trying to find some way to get a stop. Getting run on all game, getting thrown on all game. Whatever UB wants to do, they're able to do it. And the trend continues. When we play zone, we don't get a pass rush. When we play man, we get beat. Taylor Mack having a rough day. And B.J. McBride finally stays home and stuffs the zone read. Big play by the big fella. Holds the edge, beats his block, and puts us in the position to get off the field. But of course, we can't. Licata pops a QB draw. Another draw. That time we are there. Backup linebacker Elijah Morris makes the play. No huddle tempo is tiring out the starters. Nice to see a bench guy come stepping up. Third and long, and we get another draw. We're not fooled. So UB bails us out a little bit with some dicey play calling, settles for the field goal. We're only down 7. Feel pretty good about the offense. The offense is doing its thing. As far as the way the defense plays, if we can get a field goal forced, I consider that the same as a turnover at this point. Whitmer back to throw. Misses Jeremy Davis over the middle.
The quarterback in the gun.
Back to throw again.
He pump fakes.
Hits Sean McQuillan. Way to thread that needle. Heat coming.
And he's hit immediately.
Brian Lamell. McCombs, and again, McCombs just cannot get going. Looks to be a game that Chandler Whitmer is going to have to carry us in, as every time we try to pop Wild McCombs in there, he meets some resistance, only averaging a little bit over 3 yards a carry. Lots of pressure on the passing game. And that's what happens. No one open, protection breaks down, we take a sack. Now the defense really has to hold serve. If this game gets to a 10-point game in the fourth quarter, it's going to be looking kind of bleak. It's the weirdest thing ever. Downs 1 through 3 were just fine for the most part, as we get a good stick there, but we got to do something about third down conversions. UB back to pass again, bringing some pressure, hitting us underneath.
Look to his receiver, first down.
Trying to mix up the looks, but to no avail. And UB again, pushing the tempo, pushing the pressure. And why not? They're having their way, trying to bring a little zone blitz heat here. Try dictating a little bit, see if we can make something happen in the backfield. And Graham Stewart, nice in.
And they got him for a loss.
Brandon Oliver goes down for a 3-yard loss. Well-timed run blitz. Graham Stewart with his 5th tackle of the day, 3 tackles for a loss. Can the UConn defense build on this? They go right back to Brandon Oliver on the ground. Gets a nice chunk of that yardage back. Third down. And again, yet another third down conversion. UB is now slowing down the tempo, looking to drain some clock. Licata back to pass, and we get a drop over the middle. That's a big break. And that'll bring up once again, third and long. We're going to play some cover 4, bring 4. We read the screen. Licata cannot recognize it, and he takes the sack. Shamar Stephen with sack number 2. 2 of the easiest sacks that he'll have all year, but we'll take it. Nose tackles love getting that shot at some glory. And now that puts our offense in position to potentially tie this bad boy up. Whitmer going back to work. Nice little shallow cross to Sean McQuillan. Blitz. It's Jeremy Davis. Whitmer's been in rhythm all day. Over to McQuillan again, and he has some room to rumble. The big tight end getting loose. Jeremy Davis busting free on the press break, having a big day. Whitmer looking over the middle, sees Shaquem Phillips, and he pays the price, but holds on. Big time play by Shaquem Phillips. Over the middle, knew he was going to get hammered. He doesn't hear the footsteps, comes down and makes the grab. And just like that, we are knocking on the door. First and goal. See if we can pound this sucker in. Max DiLorenzo goes powering through off tackle. We're all tied up. Lyle McCombs can't get going today, so we just go to our human battering ram. Defense. And finally, Licata wises up and throws the ball away when the screen gets snuffed out. McBride, good pressure. Defense showing some signs of life finally. Can we get a 3 and out? Can we get a miracle and get a 3 and out? Third down. Screen again. And we chase it down. 36 seconds left. A hot offense, a good kicker, 1 timeout, plenty of time. Chandler Whitmer's been in the zone all game long. We're going to need him for 1 more drive.
His receivers and then really playing with a great rhythm.
And the way these two teams are battling, it's going to take more than one player's heroics to get the job done.
All right, offense, let's go. Trips, dialing up some smash. Reading the high-low. Shaquem Phillips. Finally busting through this game. Off to a slow start. Lyle McCombs finding a little bit of running room. Getting close to field goal range already. And here we are. UB trying to ice us. Can Wagner win it in regulation? Send us to 4-0. The snap, the hold, the kick. It is up. It is just through the uprights. And we go to 4-0. We survived the dreaded trap game. We have our bye week coming up, then we open up the American Athletic Conference schedule against USF. During the off week, we're going to hit the recruiting trail hard, bring you up to date as far as news and notes from around the country and how things are going in the college football season. No doubt who the player of the game is going to be in this one. Chandler Whitmer got the job done. Hope you guys enjoy. Talk to you all later. Peace.
And really the play caller, the quarterback, the offensive line, the receivers, the entire group as just a whole should feel good about their performance.
That brings this broadcast to a close. For EA Sports and Kirk Herbstreit, I'm Brad Nessler. We'll see you soon for another edition of NCAA Football 14.